That's right. Edgar's on break, isn't he?
He is. He went home to see family. He's watching live, I'm sure.
Are you on that now?
He's on Periscope right now.
I got you. All right.
Edgar's watching on your Periscope?
Oh, no, I'm sure.
Oh, I thought that's what you were saying.
Well, guys, glad to see everybody here on as we near the holidays, and this has been a whole bunch of fun for us as we've had our practices with our young guys moving into tomorrow, where we'll actually start a little bit of honing in on the opponent. But it's been a really good time for us to establish some leadership going into the off season, and again, just out playing football. It was good, and excited about some of the guys getting a lot of reps. That was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun for them, and we've got another one of those today. And just out coaching the fundamentals. It's what it's all about. And our older guys have had a chance to kind of refresh. They've been working out with Coach Kent and doing a really good job there. And I know that they're chomping at the bit to get back as we prepare for a couple days before we break for Christmas and get back together to head to Orlando. So things are really good that way. Injury-wise, guys, it's about the same. We'll know more as we kind of get into it. Cox is back, Taven's back. Who else? Ivy was back, obviously. I think those were the ones. Nothing's changed from the last time we've spoken. Obviously, we've had a guy who's in Will Greer that's asked to transfer. He came in Friday after his finals, and we talked. And guys, there's times in everybody's life where maybe sometimes change of scenery could be helpful. And let's not forget all the things that he's been through, and we're here for him. We'll help him in any way we can, and as all the Gators will. And wish him nothing but the best moving forward. And it was hard. It was something I'm sure that they've talked about, and that's kind of it. And as you guys know, I'm all about helping whatever we can do. In this case, we're going to be there to help him as he moves forward and goes from there. So that'll kind of be that on that subject, and we'll move forward. All right? Okay, questions?
Mark? All right, I know you want to move on with the Will Greer, but was it his decision to move on, or was it yours?
He came in and asked for a release. And we're going to help him in every way we can. We obviously thought he was coming back. That's what we had a couple weeks ago. But in this case, that's a choice. The one thing I'll never do is make someone do something they don't want to do. And in life, sometimes change of scenery is good. And in this case, he's going to go have a successful career and go on to play in the NFL. And we'll help him and support him in every way we can.
And then secondly, can we just get an update on Luke Del Rio? You hear a lot about how good this guy looked last year and maybe during
I
this
think
year.
Luke's been having some really good practices out there, and I think you guys were probably updated even through kind of the summer when he came here. He was a little bit of a spark plug out there, a guy who kind of knows how to go about it. So he'll be a guy obviously heavily in the mix as we move forward, and we're sure excited he's here.
Will he be on scholarship?
He's not yet, no.
Do you anticipate maybe?
We'll see when that time comes, but that really doesn't matter. We're excited he's here. We'll have, as we are with 3 new guys that'll be here this spring that obviously signed at the junior college signing day. So, Mark, Dre, and Eddie are all guys that we're excited about getting in here, and we're going to have a real competitive spring. It's going to be fun.
Sometimes coaches will put restrictions on a player when they're transferring. You can't go to this school in the conference. Where do you stand on that?
I just, we anticipated him being here. Obviously, the choice was made to go somewhere else. I'm not real fired up about seeing him in the SEC. So, but we've signed a bunch of, every school that he brought up, and we're here to support them. And guys, that's it. So I'm excited about going to Orlando. We're excited about playing Michigan, a team that is doing outstanding things, obviously, in their program. And as you kind of watch him, I kind of look forward to maybe, picking his brain a little bit as to some of the things that he's gone through there, when we get down to the bowl side. I'm looking forward to meeting him and hopefully learning something. So.
You talked about, with the older guys being out for a few days, this being a chance to really identify your leaders for the offseason.
Yeah.
Can you flesh that out a little bit? Is this something you've done elsewhere before?
It's one of those deals that's kind of worked out that way. You got guys that sometimes you get into this part of it and it's like, oh, I got to save myself, which I don't know what you're saving yourself for. You got one more opportunity to go put on film, before you move into that next step. But in our case, you think about the amount of reps these guys have had over their career and really a chance for their bodies to get back and also gives us a little jump start moving forward as we get back on, the 5th is when school starts. So it's a quick turnaround for our guys as we start our off-season stuff. It's kind of fun to see. And even as a coach and as players, it's kind of fun to see a look into the future, with the guys that are taking reps. And the other thing really look forward to these seniors getting back to kind of now jump back with a little more enthusiasm as we head into game prep.
Calvin Taylor and DeMarcus Robinson were two that we didn't see out there.
Uh-huh.
Have those guys told you that they're making the jump?
Yeah.
Okay.
On that note, Caleb announced that he's coming back. Jared obviously previously announced. Just how encouraging is it that, you have some guys coming back that are hungry for more on a defense that was as good as it was?
No, I tell you, it's and I think, part of that, and know this, they still have till whenever it is, right? But here's the good thing. I think sometimes guys make decisions based on maybe what people are telling them without getting kind of a good read. And, I can't help but go back and look at, what Jonathan Bullard's done for himself by coming back, establishing himself as a top player at that position. And, there's a lot of positives about those guys coming back with a lot of good players that are going to be around them.
And then secondly, there was a report out there about Alex McAllister. What happened there and kind of what's his status with the team moving forward?
He's going to go on into the NFL. He was injured. And, guys, at times I really don't quite get it. But, that's your choice, to say what you want. He's not going to play. But, if you choose to throw something out there that, is hearsay or whatever, that's your choice. I'd never do that to a guy, and I'm here to support these guys in every way, shape, or form.
Coach, how valuable are these extra practices for the bowl game, especially for the young guys? And then how do you balance getting them reps but wanting to get the starters reps?
Yeah,
as well?
it's kind of the way you segment it, I think, is a big thing. We use the term spring ball loosely, but at the same time, it allows us a chance to step back and get a bunch of guys a lot of valuable fundamental reps in a block that'll only move to help them as we move into next spring. To be able to do that is huge. And then segmenting it where now we go into more game prep stuff, starting here in the next couple days. It's the value of it is hard. I just know how refreshing it is and how far it pushes your program forward.
Robbie.
Has anybody else talked about transferring? I know there's been a lot of talk about CJ Worton probably leaving.
Well, you know more than I do. He's never mentioned anything to me. I don't get where you guys what? I mean, look, that's your choice to print what you want because somebody said something. All right? I don't know what you guys are chasing half the time. If he chooses to leave, I will support him in every way I can, but he hadn't ever visited with me about that. Has he visited with you?
No.
Okay, good. Well, that gave you a reason to ask it, I guess.
Nick.
How much have you been able to look at Michigan? Very stout on defense. Kind of Jake Rudock, their quarterback, kind of got things going towards the end.
Yeah, he's really playing within what I think they want him to do. There's no doubt about it. How active they are, I think DJ did an unbelievable job there as far as taking a group of guys and playing the way that they're playing. A lot of multiple looks, which causes you some confusion in your points and your targets, and they're in a lot of their man free and two-man stuff. They do a great job of covering. They got some cover guys. Got a couple. Got good size. They're Big Ten size. You know what I'm getting at? And that's a good football team.
And then specifically on defense, Jabrill Peppers, is he someone that you kind of have to
Yeah,
identify?
we got to know where he's at, at all times. And he's a real guy. They've got real scholarship football players that go to a place called the University of Michigan that I think we've all heard of, and they certainly haven't been not recruiting guys. They've got good players.
Caleb Brantley was a guy we talked to last week, said he's coming back for next year. He's, I think, the second guy that you guys have had friendly state that. Is he one of those leaders that you're looking at in terms of, a younger guy coming back trying to better himself?
He's really, he continues to get better, and you can just see that. And, I'm obviously excited about that. I didn't know he was leaving before, so you're telling me things, I guess, I get a kick out of you guys, but I still don't understand where you're coming from half the time. So,
Jimmy, pretty self-depreciating guy, but what was it like to get SEC Coach of the Year honors?
Well, I mean, that's. I guess everybody left, and so they ran out of choices. I don't know, but it's he's. I mean, it's not. Look, it's the coaches, it's the people in the organization, it's everybody, the players. So, I mean, that's the only reason you get something like that, and I'm just grateful for the people we have in our organization.
And then you touched on the JUCO and enrollees that you guys have coming in. Can you talk about each one, maybe specifically what you saw in them?
Well, Mark is a guy, he's an SEC back. He's good size, obviously. You guys will see when he walks through the door, you'll know that, you know what I'm getting at. He's runs behind his pads and has really good speed. We're excited about that. Dre is a guy that can hurt you in a lot of phases of the game because of his flat-out speed. He's fun to watch. They play him in multiple positions as well as has the opportunity to be a return guy. So I see him kind of in a receiver, back, fly sweep, a lot of different ways to get him the football because obviously he's got some juice. And, Eddie, he can kick. So that's a good thing.
Have you ever recruited a kicker as hard as you did him?
No. Never have.
The guys going pro, Taylor, Robinson, McAllister, Taylor and Robinson, will they play in the bowl game?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're doing a great job. They've been working out. They're excited about. Here's, I think, and I think these guys have a pretty good feeling of they got one more opportunity to be proud of what they put on film to show their worth. And, these guys look, I mean, the NFL now is as much obviously about great players as it is character. So here's your opportunity to play your tail off. It says a lot about who you are and how you're going to be as a teammate moving forward. And that's why I think it's, there again, I'm expecting those guys play all out.
And not that you're an NFL evaluator, but can you just give us a why those two guys do you think are ready, Kelvin and
Well,
Demarcus?
I think, it's a choice. It's one of those deals where when you look at it, I think you got to look sometimes, too, is how maybe each position is stacked, in a given year to kind of see where you're at. And, I know this. We'll be here for them, and I hope they work out here. I'm probably blowing this for, sometimes they go waste their money some places. I mean, they can get a lot of work done right here, but, obviously they'll come back and do really good in their pro day, and I'm excited for that too.
Your feelings on letting the players kind of enjoy all the extracurriculars at the bowl game versus also being there on a business trip and trying to win the game?
Well, part of it is, and what a great city for that. I mean, people come from around the world to visit this place. So we're excited about our players having that opportunity in Orlando. And yet, when it's time to work, it's time to work. And bring the focus button back in when we're in the football part. But let's go enjoy, and that's kind of how we run the program anyway, it's about having fun. It's about, enjoying each other's company. It's about, and in this case, this is a reward for a great season. An SEC East championship that I don't think anybody saw coming down the pipe. Played their tails off in Atlanta and have overcome a lot of adversity throughout it. So this is a fun group of guys, and they deserve this.
How impressed have you been with Jalen Tabor this year, and how important is he for you guys going forward?
Jalen's a great player now, and this guy's not only played corner, but he's played nickel and dime and shown his versatility, and has come up with some huge plays. And sometimes he peaks and maybe guesses a little bit, but he's sure become a disciplined player. And not only as a player part, but studying to be a player. And what he's done to just help himself even off the field, he's really grown up. And my guess is he'd be one of those that probably heads out a little early too.
When you guys had these split squad practices last week, who were some of the younger players that kind of stood out? Some of the teammates told us a couple guys, but in your mind, who were some of the guys that kind of?
I don't do that. I'm excited.
I gotta try.
I know. I mean, it's what, week 322 or whatever it's been, and you know what? They were out there playing their tails off, having fun playing football, and learning how to play the game again. Just the base install and those type of things, and it's just fun to see them all out there working.
Jim, what did you think?
It was a nice effort, though.
It was a good choice.
Jim, what did you think to see Kirby Smart and Will Muschamp getting head coaching jobs? Obviously, two guys you're familiar with.
Yeah, and both great ball coaches. And, obviously, you wish they'd got some on another part of the country, or we wouldn't have to see them every week, right? But at the same time, I know they'll do a great job, and that's, I guess they are right here in our side. So, but no, I'm happy for both.
And are there any players at all that will be out for disciplinary reasons for the bowl game at this time? I guess?
No.
You've praised John Bullard coming back this year. What does it mean to get a guy like Caleb Brantley back next year?
Well, it's just all the guys. Look, it's, I think some guys are ready. Some guys, need a little more seasoning, and some guys really help their draft stock. And I think that's the case that Bullard was able to show, and because he really helped himself, and I think a lot of these guys will too.
You said you wanted the guys to kind of enjoy the holiday, even though they don't get a lot of time. You doing anything fun, dressing up as Santa, anything like that?
I put a Santa hat on in the morning, and fortunate, Karen and I hate to say it, but I think it's starting to get to where I'm not sure we're going to have all our kids at Christmas, as they've kind of grown and start their lives, past us. But all three will be here for this Christmas, and it never gets old looking in the eyes of your kids on a Christmas morning. And, you know, I'm pretty lucky now. I got a great family, and that's what it's all about.
The split squad practice is a way for you, the coaching staff to kind of evaluate, but is it also a wake-up call for some guys who maybe were younger now but will be counted on, and
Yeah,
they kind of look around, don't see John Bullard?
There
don't
you
see Antonio
go.
Morrison?
I think it pushes a sense of urgency, like, boy, I better get ready because this stuff's about to happen. And like I said, we had a lot of guys who have made a lot of strides, and I'm looking forward to today, too, just to see how we get a little bit better. All right, guys. Thanks. Thank you. Merry Christmas.